rainforest that's unexplored and under threat.
If we're concerned about species loss, we should be concerned about keeping the forests intact.
For the last 3 weeks, an international team of scientists and filmmakers has been cataloguing the animals that hide in this wilderness.
It's one of the most spectacular places on the planet.
They're discovering it's one of the world's richest and most pristine rainforests.
Diversity here must be absolutely incredible, and it's hard to think that this could disappear. It really needs to be preserved.
The team has split up on different missions. Gordon and George are travelling to the headwaters of a remote river where the animals are rumoured to show little fear of man.
Oh, wow!
They could really mess this area up in a very short space of time, and that's terrifying.
Justine is in search of one of the planet's strangest animals. And a climbing team is attempting the first ascent of a remote mountain.
I don't like this. Oh, God!
Steve Backshall is finding it tough. Last night they camped 115 meters off the ground, suspended in space.
I'm starting to think whether...
Over the border stretches the vast jungle of Guyana. The country wants to keep its forests intact, but it's a poor nation, and timber raises much needed cash. Team members Gordon Buchanan and George McGavin are heading to an area that is today remote, but could soon be opened up for logging. Their destination, the headwaters of the remote River Rewa. Ahead of them, mile after mile of ferocious rapids.
Wow, that's quite fast. It is tough actually, just getting your head around this concept of using the river as a means of getting around, and then suddenly you hit this big barrier, and if we want to go on we've got to do some heavy grafting to get over.
The wildlife of the upper reaches is protected by these treacherous falls. The few fishermen that have ventured past have returned with stories of animals that show little fear of man.
This is the point when you work out exactly what you need and what you don't need. Now we've got 3 boats, 3 engines, all the fuel, all the food, all the kit. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff.
They're not the only ones trying to climb the Cascades.
There are literally tens of thousands of small fish here, and they're all heading, this is a holding area, and they're all heading up this tiny crack here. It's the only bit on the falls which they can actually, leap up.
I've never seen anything like it. Well, you wouldn't stop here.
Wow.
Look at that.
That is just unreal.
Poor thing, they're just absolutely pooped.
George and Gordon are faring little better. Their boat's being dragged back against the current. If it flips, they'll lose their kit. The team battle to regain control. Somehow, they manage to hold on.
Very deep, right? Really deep. You'd be amazed at how strong it was. You think it's in control, and then suddenly the current just takes the boat. Yeah, you really have to be careful out there.
There are 3 sets of falls. Every item of kit must be hauled over land. The support team consists of an ex-military medic, 1 cook, 5 boat drivers, and a jungle guide.
Who's got a machete?
This is exactly similar to what we've been doing, actually. Carrying heavy loads of food and boats up and down the jungle. Yes, this is very similar.
Some of the smaller worker ants are hitching a ride.
Because there are small flies who fly over the swarm here, and they actually try to lay their eggs in the heads of the ants who are holding a load. And so what's evolved is this very smart trick where the very smaller workers actually sit on the leaf load and fend off the flies as they come in. So it's a really smart trick. And if you see an ant which has had a fly egg in its head, the fly egg hatches and grows inside the head, and eventually the ant's head just falls off, just drops on the ground and rolls away, and a fly hatches out of it.
That's the last of the kit. So only 3 boats now, and we're done. In more ways than one.
It's the hottest part of the day, and the worst job is still to come.
I really don't know how we're going to
Dehydration and exhaustion are a real danger. Steve has climbed some of the world's highest mountains, but this first ascent of Mount to the limit.
God, that is the move. Got no foothold. Oh no!
You alright, Steve?
I just came off, sorry John.
Can you get on again?
It's impossible for him to climb up the rope with his bare hands. For the moment, he's well and truly stuck. 250 meters up.
On 3. Alright. 1, 2.
George and the rest of the team have been dragging their kit for 4 hours.
Go ahead.
His final boat is the heaviest.
That's a good one. Near at the top. Steady, steady, steady. Hang on, wait.
At last, they've made it.
Hey.
Reaching paradise was never going to be easy. Straight away, this river seems rich in wildlife.
Was that what I thought it was? A giant otter?
Yeah, they're right there.
And he comes, lovely.
There. Oh, fantastic. Oh, there's 3 of them.
Giant otters make a beeline for the water to check out the strangers.
So what, we're only 2 hours on the rerun. Already seeing big, classy animals.
Yeah. Absolutely. This is really unspoiled. What a thrill to be, 15 feet from a giant otter.
None of the animals seem concerned about the newcomers.
Because that's the first time I've actually seen them in full colour in the sun, because they're always flying overhead, so all you see is a dark shape. So if you don't actually see them in the sun, you don't get that fantastic blue and gold.
They are stunning. Really beautiful.
Wingspan about that, Gordon?
Yeah, they're big.
Big birds.
They're a
Head to tail.
parrot species, and it's the one that sort of pirates most frequently have on their shoulders in cartoons.
Gordon lad.
They don't speak.
Since George and Gordon visited this area, plans have been announced to log some of the trees in the forest. The future of the wildlife is now uncertain.
Have you got it, Gordon?
They could be the last biologists to record the animals in the forest's pristine state. As they journey deeper, they hope to find some of Guyana's most impressive creatures: powerful eagles, big cats, giant snakes.
Now I'm in a real quandary.
Steve is still dangling 250 meters up in thin air. The team is preparing to get him back on the rock face. He's handed a device to help him climb back up the rope.
Okay, here it comes, line your hands as well. Just take all your hands away from the blue rope. Hand your head, here she comes.
Well, how does that work?
Right, what you do is you take off the carabiner, lift the red up a little bit, pull it like you prise it apart, that's it, and then spin it, flip it around the rope. Right, does that work?
That does. Thank God for you. Okay.
Steve's troubles aren't over yet. The safety rope is the team's lifeline. They must avoid it snagging on the sharp rocks.
The rope's rubbing really, really badly above me. Oh, that's going to ping. I'm sorry, Keith, I might swing into you if that happens.
No problem, I'm well anchored. You're clear now, mate. Everything's cool.
Well done.
They can't afford another setback. The more time they spend climbing, the less time they'll have to explore on top. But there's no guarantee they'll even make it. "270 miles to the southeast, forest gives way to natural grasslands. Here, jungle wildlife shares space with the cattle from a few remote ranches. Camerawoman Justine Evans is on her mission to find the creatures which live here.
Look at that. Beautiful. We've got marsh around here, and some of it's quite deep. And horses can cross it really easily, but for us it would just be a real pain wading through all this water all the time. It's such a great way to get about.
She's heading to the shade of the forest to feed on. Tonight, Justine will camp out on the grassland. Tomorrow at dawn, she starts her search for the savannah's strangest creature, the giant anteater. It's going to be a rough night.
So we've only got one tent that's waterproof, have we? The tents have got no outer sheets. There's no way of holding them down. It's all a disaster. Everything's in here. I don't know what we're going to do when it pours with rain. We can't all sleep in here. We're just going to have to hide away for a while.
Animals are quite smart, they don't come out in the rain. Even insects don't come out in the rain.
We'll have to sit and wait it out, unfortunately. But we've got so few days here, we've lost a day, effectively, just because of the rain.
In this untouched forest, they had been hoping to find Guyana's top predators: anaconda, jaguar, and the harpy eagle.
Just what I said, it couldn't get any worse. The porridge is burnt. It's not good for a Scotsman, is it? Burnt porridge. The rain's eased off a bit.
Yeah, it has. That's good. It's a bit annoying because peak jaguar time sort of is 8 until sort of 10. Well, it's now nearly 10.
Despite the delay, Gordon decides to take his chances.
Look! Oh, a gastrocantha spider. I nearly plonked myself on that. This is a fantastic spider. And it's got these amazing spines in the abdomen. It's quite hard, actually. And if you were to sit on that, actually, it would be quite painful. Very heavily armed with spines. In search of the elusive jaguar.
The heavy rains have swollen the river, and most animals have retreated into the forest, except one, a normally nocturnal paca.
It's a fairly large rodent, quite commonly found, but not during the day. These things could be taken by certainly anaconda around here, jaguar. There's lots of things that eat them. Should be spending the days underground, little family group, and then they come out and about at night time, but this one's been scared out by something. Come on, Mr. Paca, get out of there. Because a slippery muddy bank on the side of a river is not a good place for a plump paca to be.
Justine has enlisted the help of a local cattle rancher in her search for giant anteaters. He thinks there's one roaming this area.
Tie up. This is interesting. You can see where this termite nest has had the top knocked off it, and it's definitely an anteater that's done this. Looks like a good area. Lots of termite nests here.
Orvin spotted one. But the anteater has sensed them.
Made too much noise. Stuck in a bog. And off he goes.
Giant anteaters have bad eyesight but a good sense of smell. She must approach quietly downwind.
Fantastic.
it's just really fascinating to see how it's using this landscape. You know, it's just specialised with what this landscape has to offer, which is lots of ants and lots of termites. It's just perfect for it.
Giant anteaters have no teeth, but their elongated heads hide a 60-centimetre tongue covered in sticky saliva.
They're just like aliens. They're just bizarre looking. He's feeding on something now. Wow. He's got his head right down in the grass. He's got his tongue and it's sticking it down the holes. And all the termites get stuck on the tongue and they just lap up as many as they can. They're only walking on their 3 main toes, which are curled under. So they only pull the claws out when they're actually digging. So they're basically walking on their knuckles, which just looks weird. They're all together quite strange. Real specialists.
This discovery marks the end of Justine's journey. Tomorrow she must head home.
It's great to see a giant anteater. First time ever. First time I've got a shot, first time I've ever seen one. Brilliant.
After 3 days of relentless climbing, Steve is just 30 metres from the top. But it's not over yet.
I'm actually not sure I'm going to tackle that. Got a foothold there, but there's another that might ping off. Oh, God!
Well done.
I think I can see the top.
The next of it's a nasty bit.
Oh dear, that's all going to come off. Oh, God.
He's almost there. But in this final push, he's having to cling on to loose soil and roots.
Go on, good. Go on. Excellent. Nice one, Steve.
Yes! Yeehaw! Oh, fantastic!
Steve's work as a climber is done. Now he must break through the thick wall of vegetation before he can start his search for wildlife on the summit.
Look at this! We've popped out into a moss, bromeliad, fern forest. This really is the lost world.
As the rest of the team searches for animals, Steve is exploring a rocky shelf above.
We're running in tracks. You can see there's almost like roads. These here are bird prints, but these are definitely mammal prints. Kind of polecat, a sort of medium-sized mustelid perhaps. It's something from the weasel family, which means there are mammals up here. And if we find them, they're almost certain to be a new species.
They have just 3 days to track down the mystery mammal.
Well done, who found it?
Yeah, it was just lucky. Just be careful, he's very jumpy.
Oh, look at that underside. Beautiful colours. Woo! good catch. Well, I'm going to have to hold him still like that. I think what's particularly special about this frog is I've not seen it in any of the guides or any of the textbooks for the frogs of this area. I tell you what's particularly beautiful actually, if you look at the underside, quite dull on top, but underneath the belly and the undersides of the pads, look at those colours. Wow. That's really quite dramatic, isn't it? Unfortunately, it's very difficult to name a new species without taking it back to a museum and running all sorts of tests on it, and to do that we'd have to kill it, which I'm not prepared to do. So I'm going to put it back where it belongs in this bromeliad here.
Unidentified frogs, unknown footprints. Who knows what else the mountain holds? It's been a frustrating day for George and Gordon, but at least the rain has stopped.
I have to say, this is not the sharpest tool in the kit. Okay, onions done. Potatoes. I've been fantasizing about a slow roasted lamb shank for most of last week. Oh.
Before dinner, George has important work to do. After rain, insects come out.
This is the first ultraviolet trap that anyone's ever set in this area. Oh. What on earth? I've never seen that before. That thing there is a very strange family of bug that's not much recorded. How many things are here? I mean, 200 species? Easily. I think it'd be safe to say that at least 5%, if not 10% of them, may be undescribed. I mean, that's the fact of it. So if we could save all the forests in hot countries like Guyana, then you would immediately save over 50% of all the world's species. So that surely is, you know, worth doing. Look at that. I mean, that is just stunkingly beautiful. This pale ivory-coloured moth, and yet at the right angle you see these beautiful little golden beads all around the edge there. I mean, that's just, you know, that's incredible. This is a monster. I've never seen this. Look at the size of this guy. Whoa. That is a mole cricket and a half. That's an absolute beauty. I'm in my element here, and makes all the portaging and the sweating, makes it all worthwhile.
George must get some rest. He needs to be up early to search for the giant anaconda. On the top of Mount Apuigma, the climbers spent the night sheltering under an overhang. Now they're preparing for another day searching for animals.
All this climbing takes quite a toll on your hands. You just tend to get nasty kind of, you know, blisters, particularly in the points where the ropes rub through your fingers. Does it hurt? Yes. Oh, it's not too bad.
Hundreds of swifts are feeding above, watched on by their predators, falcons.
From the second we reached the top of the climb, these calls have been in our ears the entire time, and to begin with we thought it was a bat falcon, which is quite common, but those don't occur at anything like this altitude or in this kind of terrain. What does, and in fact what was spotted in 1999 on a tepui to the east of us, is the orange-breasted falcon, and I think there'd be a lot of ornithologists out there who'd be really, really happy to know that it's alive and well here on Apuigma. It looks to me like we've got a pair with a youngster, and there's all sorts of interactions going on between the three of them. Very, very vocal birds.
As Ivan explores the cliff face, Steve is hunting for the mystery mammal.
There's a great little hole down here with loads of paw prints. Would make a perfect burrow. Let's go inside with the night camera, see what we can see. Oh, it smells quite strong in here. That kind of musty animal smell. It certainly looks like a perfect burrow for a medium-sized mammal. Oh, I can't see any. There's loads of prints, but there's no droppings.
Since first light, George and Gordon have been continuing their search for Guyana's top predators.
What's news?
One of the boatmen thinks he's seen a giant anaconda hidden in the bushes.
Anaconda? Anaconda? Yeah, and if he says it's a big one. It'll be big.
That's a big one.
It's a big one indeed. Can we get in that? It's like a car tire. Yeah, it's like a car tire on its side.
A very large car tire.
Gordon is just trying to sneak onto land and try and get a picture of this anaconda on the ground. Razor grass. Gordon's about 8 feet away from it.
Goodness me, that's a huge snake.
It's 5 meters long, its body the size of Gordon's waist.
That's doing a bit of pruning. Can't really get a clear view of it. I've seen an anaconda smaller than that eat a whole pig. Something the size of me, it could possibly do it.
Anaconda kill by coiling their body tightly around their prey and stopping the blood circulation. The victim is swallowed whole.
If you're scared of snakes, this thing would give you nightmares. Its tongue's not out. If its tongue comes out, that means it can sense us, it can actually taste us. At the moment, I think it's just fast asleep.
No, that's big.
This place really is strangely rich in wildlife. I've never seen or heard of anywhere like this place. This is a land of giants.
Its eyes are open, isn't it? It's great to see it, and I think we should just leave it alone.
They head into the forest, where they're confronted by yet another giant.
This is an enormous tree. It's a silk cottonwood. Absolutely vast. That's bigger than anything we've seen.
Definitely.
Good grief!
That is incredible.
Look at the size of those buttress roots.
Oh wow, look.
What you got?
Look. It's
oh my God!
It's one of those.
That is incredible! This is a hawk moth, which has been infected by...
Is that a fungus?
Exactly. And that's grown throughout the whole animal. The disease makes them crawl up higher.
Really?
So that when they die and the spores erupt out of the animal, it spreads over a further area.
You have to be very careful what you eat in the jungle, because there are things that can make you feel very sick, or the things that will grow inside you and erupt out of your back, your stomach. And here's an example.
Sci-fi films, they try and dream up hideous things, yeah. But actually, in the real world, there are 10 times more hideous things happening to animals all around us than we could ever imagine. I'll bet you any money that species of fungus is undescribed. I mean, it's a very underworked group. That, to me, is quite unique.
It's It's only from the air that you can see the vast scale of this forest. Guyana's trees alone lock up 2.7 billion tons of carbon, vital in the fight against climate change. But Guyana is a very poor country and needs to earn money from its trees. It faces a dilemma: to allow logging now or keep the forests intact and hope to trade them for carbon credits in the future. So far, this forest is untouched, but it may not be for much longer. It's the last night on Mount Apuigma, and after dinner, the climbing team hope to find nocturnal animals. They've laid a series of small mammal traps, and Steve's rigging an ultraviolet light to attract insects.
Look at these moths. Look at the size of this. Whoa! Got some enormous moths all the way down this wall here, look! Look at the size of that. These ones here are hawk moths of the Sphingidae. Look at the size of that one there. For scale, that's the size of my hand. And they're all exactly the same species, with this distinctive eye spot here, and that wonderful coloration here in the hind wing. Whoa! Something really quite extraordinary has happened here. My light trap has actually conned these swifts, and they'd actually flown into the wall. This one here, he's stunned but alert, and I think he might head off. Come on, fella, please be all right. Oh, thank goodness for that.
Suddenly, there's a noise from within the mammal trap.
No, 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 no. Come back, where are you? Oh, God, no! Oh, no, he's in there. He's in there. Oh, he's beautiful. You're all right, I'm not going to hurt you. Look at the size of the ears and the spread of the whiskers. This is definitely a creature that's accustomed to hunting at night. And it's ever so pretty. There have been very, very few species of mammals recorded on the top of tapuis, and new mammals are found so rarely these days. But that is an extraordinary find. Makes the whole trip worthwhile.
They could only bring enough supplies for 3 days. Now it's time to go home.
Last night was definitely in my top 10 wildlife moments. Everything happened at once, you know. First of all the swifts, then these moths everywhere, and then we found that mouse. We've only had 3 days to do a rapid assessment of what lives up here on the top, but even so I think we've had some major successes, and I'm sure that some of the animals we've found are new to science. But even more tantalising are those footprints we found of some unknown animal, and I just hope that someone gets a chance to come back and find out what that is. It's kind of one of the big tragedies of my life that I was born now, when it's so hard to find really wild places that people haven't been to. And it does your heart good to come somewhere like this that is not only totally undiscovered, but is so special.
Gordon has been pulled away from breakfast. One of Guyana's most rarely seen creatures is high in the trees right next to camp.
It's just stopped in this tree right here. I've never seen a harpy eagle before. I really didn't think we'd see one here. It's enormous. What I'd like to try and do is get a shot, and that way I can get the long lens to its full extent and hopefully get a really close shot of it. Oh, please don't go anywhere. This is just smash and grab filming. You've got to try and find a position and just get what you can, because this bird is going to fly and we're never going to see it again. okay, to make sure everything's running. Oh wow, look at that. You know what, if the jaguar's the most difficult mammal to see, the harpy eagle is definitely the most difficult bird to see. Beautiful. Is it easy in this place to say every second day, this is the most amazing thing I've seen, this is the rarest thing that I've seen, but honestly, there is more chance of a jaguar doing the fandango through our camp than finding a harpy eagle. It's got the remains of a monkey, you can just see its back legs. That's what harpy eagles do. They're such a huge birds of prey. They catch big primates, and their claws are so powerful. They'll grab a monkey, grab it by the body with one claw, grab it by the head. Look at those talons, they're enormous, huge, that size.
The harpy is the most powerful eagle in the world and stands 1 meter tall.
Without a doubt, this is like finding diamonds at the head of this river. The further we get away from people, there's more animals. And the fact that you've got an animal like a harpy eagle is just a good indication that there must be many monkeys here. And many monkeys mean you've got a very healthy habitat. And it's worrying that it's completely unprotected. They could really mess this area up in a very short space of time, and that's terrifying. Unreal, this is so unbelievably rare. It is the Holy Grail. Okay, it's gonna go. It's gonna go. This could be the last moments that we have with this bird.
The harpy eagle is the final discovery for the team. They'll soon be heading home. The expedition has produced important evidence. This is one of the greatest unspoiled rainforests in the world.
There are so few places that are pristine and untouched. This is one of them, and personally, I think that should never change.
From the treetops to its watery depths, they've uncovered new, strange, and rare creatures. They've been burnt, bitten, and had narrow escapes. They've catalogued and photographed hundreds of rainforest animals.
There should be room on this earth to keep 6% of the land surface area, a very small area, in which resides the majority of all the Earth's species of animals and plants. Thank you. Man, you're
For George, there's one last task.
I've been in the jungle for 5 weeks.
Delivering the scientific report to the Guyanese president.
No, that's all right, please.
Here is a very brief report from our trip, which just outlines what we did, and obviously that there'll be more coming out of this in the next few months.
Every report, they've all recognized the importance of rainforests, especially tropical rainforests, in climate change, a contribution to the mitigation or the reduction of greenhouse gases.
What we all find is that this particular area is one of the richest in terms of species, probably anywhere on the planet. It's incredibly rich.
Shortly after the team returned home, the president of Guyana made an unprecedented move. He approached the British government to offer the intact forest as a global resource to help alleviate climate change in return for financial help. The world is just beginning to recognize the enormous value of rainforests, not only as home to millions of species, but as part of the solution to a global problem.